Hi everyone. Tonight I'm going to show you how to create a second playlist for someone in your multicast so that you can pretty much automate a little bit easier with, say, you could have a morning group and an evening group that involve the same people, but you can run a different playlist for them and have it saved. And then we're going to talk about how we can use crystals to amplify various things in the AO scan. So I'm going to figure out where my screen share is. I'm hitting share and it's not doing anything. I'll find it in a second. I'm hitting share and it's not, there it goes. Okay. So I'm going to be down here. Okay. So in order to do this, we're going to come into spaces and objects. Couldn't find my thing there. And we're going to add an object. And let's say, I need to create this for my daughter. And I already have one playlist on here for her. And I'm going to create a number 2 for her. And I'm just going to give this a description of daytime playlist or daytime multicast. That way, when I see it, I just can go, oh, okay, this is the one for daytime. Because I already have her in one for evening. But sometimes you don't want to run the same playlist. So, and I don't have a picture for her right this minute on my computer. It's on my phone. So I'm just going to leave that blank for right now. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to hit finish. Okay. And then I can come into multicast. Oh, whoops, never mind. Not multicast. We're going to go to manage client groups. Okay. There it goes. All right. So we'll add a new group here. And we're going to say daytime playlist. Okay. And then I'm going to add her to it. Her name and hit search. Oh, you know what? This is in mine. Hey, hold on. I need to do it in mine because that's where I created it. You can do it either way. You can do it in theirs or you can do it in your own, whichever one you're running from. It doesn't matter. I'll let it pull up spaces and then I'll select her name. Okay, right there, Michaela Edwards, number 2. Okay. Okay, and now we'll hit save so that it saves the playlist. Okay, and then up here and go to multicast in Cephi. And we can add her here. Now you could add, if you set up an entire group of people that have like a second profile, then you can create a whole playlist. Say you have one that's all morning and one that's all evening. This allows you to pick their name and attach different playlists to it. Okay, so again, this one's, let's see. Did it under myself. So I'm going to hit search. And then I'm going to hit the drop down menu and go to spaces. and I'm going to add what I just created in here. Once it pulls it up. It's running kind of slow today. Okay, I'm going to click her name with the daytime multicast. And then I can click flower and scan for her flower. Okay, and then let's say, what do I want her affirmations to be here? She's studying for her cosmetology state board exams this week. So I didn't want to put this in her nighttime one because I don't want her brain working nonstop overnight with thinking skills playlists. So my intention was to create a second one for her for that purpose. So let's just say my memory is 100% activated to remember all of the information about, let's see, all of the information that I need for my exam. I am free from fear and anxiety. And confident that I will do well. And I like to add on here, thank you, Lord, for giving me what I need to have what I want in life. It is received. I can't spell right tonight. IEVED. In love. I did spell it right to start with. Okay, now we'll select some playlists for her. Okay, I won't do it with my finger. I was trying to scroll. Let's see. Abundance sounds like a good playlist I have. Anti-stress, anxiety and trauma, and let's see. Maybe business success. I've got 2 more left, so we'll put, I know I have one for tests and things for her too that I put in before multicast became a thing. Tests and brain function, and I tell you what, how about vagus nerve? Okay. All right, so now you can create this again. You can add other people to it, but this will be created for her. And you also want to make sure you come over here and hit save. I need to make sure I hit save as default on this as well. So now anytime I go in there, I can set up a separate multicast and add people to it for a daytime run because I have an evening one, and this will just be my daytime one. And I've been needing to do this. So this was a good night to bring this one up. So do y'all have any questions about how to do that?
I missed it all.
Who's that? Is that Nancy?
Yeah, I just got on. I was having a hard time. I didn't have service.
I'm thinking my headset was on. My headset's not even on.
I'll have to watch it later.
Okay, yeah. So I just finished showing how to create a second playlist for somebody so that you can have have it already preset. So like you can have a morning one and an evening one, or any other type of playlist that you want to do. Say you've got a group of people that you want to run some specific frequencies for at a certain time of day, or like a Cephi group. Um, Maybe people that are just people you're praying for and need to be lifted up. So you could create some specific playlists for them, and this is going to be your playlist in multicast for them, so that you have. If you notice, I have my daughter's name with number 2 on there, so I showed them how to go in and create that, so you can not have to change your playlists from one time to another when you're wanting to play multicast for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I have it. I didn't realize you did it under spaces and objects.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would have to create a whole nother profile for them. And
Okay.
this is kind of a workaround for that, so that you can create them under one profile. And like I said, you can do it under, and I may end up going back and doing this under hers, but since I was in mine, I just created it in mine as a space and object. And then you can put you can put a picture of whatever you're sending, whoever or whatever the frequencies are going to there. And then you can just hit play like usual on multicast. So, all right. Any questions on that? Okay.
No, thank you.
All right. So here comes the fun one.
Hey Terry, before you move on, this is Lee.
Hey Lee.
Could you not use her same profile and
I can.
just do a different group? You know, like can you set up different groups with the same person?
No, you can't. It will
can't.
only save one for each person. So this was kind of my workaround to figure out a way to save multiple sets of playlists.
Okay.
Because I don't always want to run the same thing, but I kind of want to save what I'm running for a specific purpose, and this allows me to do that.
Okay, thank
So
you.
like I said, you can go in their profile, and I will end up going in her profile and do it because that's easier to make. That makes more sense. But I was just in my profile, so I'll give you an idea of what this looks like if you've got. Let's see. I forgot where multicast was for a second. Let me see where I've got one that's got several things in there. And y'all have to forgive me. I'm back on the old interface because I like it better. It's pitiful, I know. I'm I'm not I'm not opposed to change, but it just was taking me entirely too long to it's not on that one. To find what I was looking for in the new
Last night,
interface.
I listened to Dr. Daryl, do a kind of an overview on the new look, and he had some really good thoughts on some reasons why you might want to use it for some times.
Okay.
I can't remember any of them, of course, but so don't ask me. I'm gonna go back and listen again. Okay, I thought, okay, maybe I'll give it a second shot.
Okay,
He was
so
saying like new people, it would be perfect that just gets the software because they already have
yeah,
playlists set up, you know.
I agree. I mean, at first I was like, this looks really nice, and it really does. I gotta give them kudos for that. But I was in the process of packing and trying to drive down to Florida.
No.
And I was like, I need to find my stuff and I can't find it. I'm just switching back to the old.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what it would look like if you had them have this kind of setup in with both of them at once. So this was I created a friend of ours with under his own profile. I created a one that just said Mark II. So then I've got playlist here or playlist here, and I can pick and choose which one I want to do, and not have to go to a different play set in multicast, a different what do they call it? A different client group. So I can just pick and choose there.
And that's all under your profile.
Yes, this is in multicast under my profile, but like this one I set up under his instead of doing it like I did my daughter's a minute ago. There's another one, same thing here, with my mama. And I can do the same thing there. I can choose, okay, do I want this playset tonight or do I want this one? Because I tend to run everybody's at night, but so that's what it'll look like if you put them in the same one. But you can just go under their profile and click on the corner and it'll bring down pets and spaces and objects and you can find what you created there.
Yeah.
So could you run, since you got two profiles, you know, one is one and like one is two, can you run those at the same time?
You
Like
can, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. It's just a matter of you want to make sure you're not running frequencies that are going to oppose each other.
Right.
And
That wouldn't be good, would it?
right. Like you don't want to run something for energy and something for sleep because it's going to cancel each other out. But you also don't want to run, you know, something for energy before bed. And, you know, you just, you know, you got to think through what you would like to play in them. But also, I wouldn't start out someone who has not been using frequencies and run both of them because you've already got, say you select 5 playlists under each one and there's 15 in each one of those. And if you do that times 2, that's a lot of frequencies at one time.
Oh yeah, that would be way too much. I mean,
Yes.
5 playlists at one time can be too much.
It can, yes. So you got to be cautious with what you're doing and make sure you're not overdoing it. But yeah, you can. Just got to be careful with it. And you might want to, for instance, the first time you do it, you might want to make sure you have contact with them and not just like run it overnight and them not be aware that you're running it or not have a way to contact you and say, hey, something doesn't feel right. Can you cut it off? But this one's mostly my kids. So they're used to me running stuff on them all the time anyway. So, okay. The next thing. This is something I've mentioned it on my Facebook and I haven't really gotten into it with anyone yet. Because Nadia said, hey, can you do that on the call? So what I've been doing with Inner Voice is I've been taking crystals, and it's not gonna. I don't have it pulled up on my phone because I'm on my laptop as well. So I've been taking crystals and I've been putting them like this on here. Now these are like ones geared towards abundance, and you can tailor your own crystals. If you need some help with figuring out what crystals are better for what, like what properties they have, I highly recommend this book. Especially if you are a believer and want to know how crystals all tie in with the scriptures. The Rocks Cry Out by Jody, I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name. Tom, I guess. Thome. Very, very good book. Kind of opened my eyes for a bit when I was studying, is it biblical to be using these crystals? And this may be a podcast for a different day. That's not on a team call directly, not a training call. The conclusion I came to was as long as we're not worshiping the rocks, God made them and he says that the rocks will cry out if the people don't. So, what I've discovered is they amplify very, very well when we put these on the screen, when we're doing inner voice or playlists. And I haven't tried it in MindSync yet, but that might also do very well. So in this case, you're going to just put it on top of your screen instead of playing through your headphones. Y'all, it's mind blowing how much they amplify the effects of the frequencies. And you can, every time I do it, the crystals will just vibrate and move on the screen. So you can tell that they're picking up the frequencies, and it is really cool. So there's different ways, there's different types of rocks. I find that the ones that move the most are the ones that are not polished. They tend to amplify the frequencies more than the polished ones, but I kind of have a variety of polished and unpolished ones. It's something I think everybody should at least give it some thought if it's something that you want to try, because it's been very beneficial. And I can tell you the rocks and crystals that I have on there at the moment are all ones that I bought specifically to help increase abundance, and I can definitely say it's worked. And this is just playing them on inner voice. I haven't even really played them, even though I know that others are doing it. I know it's effective. I haven't even used them on playlists. I'm just strictly using them on inner voice to kind of work on my mindset and the emotions that I have tied into my ability to create abundance in my own life on any level. And I'm not just talking about money. There's different types of abundance, and I've been abundantly drawn to more praying through this, and seeking ways to be closer with my children. And it really has just amplified everything that the scanner is already doing in my life. I don't know if I can, let's see, if I go back to, let me stop screen sharing. Let me log in on my phone, and I'll try and show y'all the difference here. Let's see. Show me my client list. Search existing. Myself. Inner voice. So I would just run a scan as usual. And I have found too that playing with the number setting makes a bigger difference. You want to turn your tone all the way up, and that's the zigzag line that's on the right hand, that slider bar that's on the right hand side. So let's see if I can hold this up. All right, so I just kind of place them on the screen, sort of in a circle around the centerpiece, which is the circle. Let's see, auto mix. Okay. So I'm just going to play the auto mix. Let's see if I can hold it still enough for y'all can see that it's. Sometimes it takes it a minute, and it'll just start sliding. The green one's rocking back and forth. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me unplug it. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but the green one is rocking back and forth.
You can see it. Well, that's interesting.
Usually the purple one will just start sliding across the screen. And if I play it for about 10 minutes, the purple one will be just on the opposite end of the screen because it just picks up that vibration and goes. It's really cool. So
Shows you it's working, doesn't it?
it does.
And amplifying it through the crystal, that's powerful.
It is. And at first I questioned, like, are these things that we should be messing around with? But this book really brought that to home for me. I don't know if y'all can see it. Sorry, I've got the background blur on in my fake office here. I'm trying to show you the book, but the name of it's The Rocks Cry Out.
How do you spell the last name?
Thomaae. And then I found another really cool one that gives you pictures. My kids stole this book before I ever got to look at it. The Crystal Healer. And it gives you pictures of all the crystals and lists the properties and like physical and emotional and spiritual properties. And it tells you the ones that are safe to make like elixirs from, which is where you could just put the rock in water, or you could just pour water over the rock into your glass or whatever. And there's some that are not good for that and some that are. So it tells you all the information about that. And then in the back of this one, it also gives you like a alphabetized list of conditions that tells you what rocks would work best with it. So that one's pretty cool too. My kids stole that book and like kept it for the better part of a day. My little ones just enjoying looking through it. It was neat how they were just drawn to it. But anybody else tried any crystals on their using on their scanner yet? I'd heard other people talking about doing it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it on Inner Voice. Nobody's mentioned that. I know that others were saying they had done it on the playlist and they just put them on the fractal amplifier, but it really does amplify them. And I want to make sure myself that I'm not focusing on the rocks themselves doing any healing, but because that comes from our higher power, our creator, and he also created these rocks and these crystals with specific properties that help us heal. So as with all things, we have to use them with wisdom and make sure that we don't fall into worshiping the things instead of the creator. So I do just want to say that. But any other AO scan questions y'all got?
I'll say amen on that, Mary. I'm learning a lot of things that I thought were woo-woo, not woo-woo.
Right.
You know, Becky's made me she's helped me really overcome, a lot of that religious, mindset.
Yeah.
Because like I said, God did make all of this. And I mean, he gives us tools to use for healing. I mean, he says it all the way from Genesis to Revelation.
Yes.
Right? That he's just what food, I forget what Pops put now. I actually did a sermon on this. It was like food and it was oils. It was several like plants. He used plants. That's what it was. And different things for food and medicine,
Yeah. And it's all through the Bible. It's all through the scriptures that these things are used to heal. And, it's also prevalent in the scriptures that there were healers. And I don't think it's talking about doctors. That's probably a whole nother topic for another day, but
that would be a fun topic to do. Just
it
like
would.
oil. It's like anointing with oil.
Right.
I know in my heart that they had different oils for different things they anointed people with. I mean, just by the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like,
That, and it's really not any different than us understanding that specific foods have specific vitamin and mineral contents and can be used to balance things out in our body. Well, these rocks are literal mineral compositions, right? They all have different compositions. I wish I need to look for a book that goes into detail with what mineral compositions are in there. It'd be interesting to see how that lines up with what's in the scanner, wouldn't it? Like if our magnesium's low, or if there are 2 or 3 vitamins and minerals that are low, what crystal does that lead to? What crystal's going to have that content that's going to help balance that out? Because honestly, sometimes we take these minerals, and um, if we believe that we can take these minerals, then why can't we just also use the rocks and crystals that contain that mineral composition? Because in my training with holistic health, we're better off to take things the way that God created them instead of isolating nutrients. So, if rocks and crystals have a specific composition, then it's about the same thing as using a food for medicine as opposed to, say, an isolated uh, vitamin like calcium or something like that. Because in our bodies, we can't just utilize just calcium because it's going to throw other things off. So I think tying in how the rocks and crystals compute with that, and like how they have specific compositions, would be really interesting to see how that lines up with the scanner. I hadn't even thought about that. So now I got a new book I got to look for. Because I need one more to add to the stack on my desk that's waiting for me to get a minute to read. And even the scriptures say, with food that God, and that's in Genesis, that God created the herbs for us. So how do we discount all these things that he created for us when it says that he created them for us to use? So, did y'all have any other questions about things in the scanner that y'all hadn't thought about? Or any questions about the new interface? I don't know if I can be much help with that, but I need to flip back and forth and just play with it, I guess, so that I'm more familiar with it. Because, if we have people that sign up under us, we're going to need to be able to explain how to use either interface. So I guess we really do need to learn it, don't we? So that we can help people find things. I'm just a creature of habit, I guess. And like I said, and I'm probably not the only one that was like, oh, I'm so busy getting ready for Day of Discovery stuff that I don't have time to learn the new one right now. And just life in general, we're busy. So learning something new when we already know something else that already works is kind of hard for us. We're creatures of habit.
I think it's going to be wonderful for somebody new. They
I
can
do too.
start immediately with playlist, and while they're learning and we're showing them, they can start. I mean, everything's like right there for them.
Yeah. I think that's where we're all struggling so much, is we're used to the original interface, and it's like everything's just laid right out in front of you. And the new one is everything's in a different place than what it was. So we have to look for everything. It's all there.
Yeah.
You just got to find it and remember where it's at. Okay. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, then we'll wrap it up for the night.
Well, thank you, because you cleared up for me how to do a second playlist because I was always going back in and changing it each time.
Yeah,
And I
that
knew
ju-
there had to be a way, but I couldn't figure it out.
Hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
it just makes it where you can automate it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now, if we could just figure out a way to set it on a timer, that'd be great, right?
Yes, that would be great, wouldn't it? I know, because my timer in my brain doesn't always tell me the right
Right.
thing.
If we could just
Remind
say,
me.
hey, start this playlist at 9 a.m. Start this playlist at, 6
I
p.m.
bet.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
I
Yeah, that
bet
would
they
be
will.
awesome.
Yeah, I bet they will. Don't you think eventually they will
I
have
don't
that
know.
option?
Maybe we should email them
Yeah.
and email customer service and make the suggestion. If enough of us make it, then they'll figure out how to do it and add it in.
I think it would be cool if it would auto select the flowers.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Because that
'cause
takes
I'm
a bit
always
of
like,
time
yeah,
especially if
that's
you've got
always the longest time.
the whole 16 people in
Yeah,
filled up in 16 slots and you're having to go through and hit
yes, yeah,
True.
select for all of them.
yeah.
That and adding gemstones to it would be good too.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Because I
Well,
like
thank
that.
you so much. That was really informative.
You're welcome. I hope that was helpful. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask in any of the Good Vibration groups or the Vibrant Energy Reset group. And
I was
we'll-
wondering what the name of that second book was.
the Crystal Healer.
Oh, okay, I got that. All right, yeah. I
Did
just
you get the
wanted to
first one?
verify. Yeah, I just,
Okay.
I thought I had the second one right. I just want to make sure.
for that one.
Okay. And if I find one that's related to like the mineral compositions, I'll be sure and share that one with y'all too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I think it'd be cool to tie it in.
Yeah.
Because I know it will. Because the scanner
Yeah.
picks up on everything. It just knows stuff. It's really cool.
Also got, I brought some Mexican back there, something might be enough for tonight. We could eat that for, I didn't realize that.
All right. So if y'all don't have any more questions, we'll call it a night.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.